Hey, Trent, congratulations on the Pro Bowl.
Thank you.
Does it ever get old? And what was it about this one that made you say that it was, the most special one that you've been through?
To answer your first question, no, it never gets old. Every year, it's just as special as the last. But this year I think is far more special to me just because of what I had to overcome with his last season, last year and a half. I think it was a mountain climb for me, and I feel like, being able to be recognized by my peers as one of the best in the games kind of gives me that confidence to, you know, think that my game is back where it's supposed to be.
Hey, Trent, you've played a long time, and you've been through this before when you have, a couple games at the end of the season, you can't make the playoffs. I mean, obviously, there's plenty of motivation. There's, everything's on film. You're always being judged as an ex-contract or whatever. But is football tough in the respect of when there is not, the playoffs to play for? It can be tough to, hey, I'm going to jump in this pile. I'm going to put my arm in this position. I mean, do you have to make, do you think another second before doing some stuff like that when you're playing games like this, if that makes sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I get what you're saying. To be honest with you, it's hard to get motivation on Wednesdays and Thursdays, but when Sunday come around and Saturday when guys are gearing up and you kind of get that aura that a game is coming around. The competitive nature just comes out. You don't really think about it. You don't think that it's quote unquote nothing to play for. You just think that it's a game and it's a competition, and in competition you want to win. So I think it's human nature to feel like maybe it's a little hard to get up for this, meaning that it doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things, but it's also human nature to be competitive too.
Trent, with John Benton being out because he was with COVID over the weekend, last 2 weeks really, how seamless has the transition been with Chris Foerster being there as a coach, and what does it mean to you to have him there as a coach again?
Oh, I mean, it's been an extremely smooth transition. Obviously, we miss JB, and we always wish him the best, wish him a speedy recovery. He's doing fine, and he'll be out there soon. But having Coach Foerster in the position that I was used to seeing him in, earlier in my years, and the position that I think he's used to being in, for me, it was gratifying. I know that, like myself, he's came through a lot, and he's showed a complete change to everybody, and I think everybody can notice it. And he's a far greater coach than what he was when he left me. And I'm just so proud to see his maturation and see him to continue to turn into the coach he has today and come through all the shortcomings and the judgments, and everybody was going to have an opinion, but for him to keep going, keep plugging away, and to show his passion each and every day for the game, and it just can't say enough about him. I love him to death. He's family to me, so obviously it's always good for me to see him in that position.
Trent, you've made the Pro Bowl now 8 straight years in which you played. What was it? What happened the first couple of years, and why did it take you until year 3 like it did Fred Warner?
As a rookie, it was just my head was spinning. Coach Shanahan called me in his office. I'll never forget. He told me, he quoted me how much I was getting paid a year, how much I had signed for. He was like, "We're not helping you. You're gonna have to grow up on the field, or either show you can do it, or you're gonna prove that you can't." And from that day on, I was learning on the job. I was growing as I go, and they challenged me. Coach challenged me a lot, and for some reason I got with Adrian my second year, after my rookie year. He kind of taught me how to train, kind of taught me how to use my off time. And I took it serious. I took Coach's challenge. I didn't feel like, as a rookie, I didn't know if I lived up to his challenges the whole entire season. So that second year, I just wanted to come back and answer every question that I had, that I thought he had. And, I feel like I played extremely well my second year and probably would have made the Pro Bowl, but, I was a bonehead, got suspended the last 4 games. And, so my run had to start in year 3. So nobody to blame but myself. But, yeah, that's kind of how it started in 3.
Last 2?
Hey, Trent, early in the season, I think maybe partly because you have this standard that you've established, but there were some plays where you're like, oh, what happened to Trent Williams there? Thing like the Eagles game, maybe the Dolphins game. Maybe some people even wrote like, what's wrong with Trent Williams, right? You noted that you were being graded out at a pretty high level, but I'd ask you, was any of that just like getting comfortable in the system? I don't know, rust. Was there anything like that going on, or would you say no? You've been pretty much the same guy all year.
No. It was a couple plays that I wanted to have back, and it was a thing. I wouldn't say it was rust, but me coming from a system where we didn't run a lot of outside zone my last 4 or 5 years playing. And the way that Cal and them ran outside zones and things of that matter, they kind of changed and shifted as he got older and kind of refined his playbook. And obviously that was when we weren't together. So it was a couple things. I know a lot of things. A couple plays that was seen early was just technique and a technique switch, and him, me kind of just letting the coaches just kind of coach me. And so I was trying different things on the go, which, I just had to be open to. I was in a new system. Cal wanted a different way. And, I have a ton of respect for Cal, and I've never questioned him. So it was some things I just had to learn on the go. And some plays happen on prime time where everybody could see. Some of them happen in practice. But, it was just some things that I had to get corrected. And I can't say that'll be the easy answer, just say it was rust. I was rusty, and, I can blame it on that. But I necessarily don't think it was that. I kind of know exactly what it was, which is kind of why we got it fixed pretty early.
Trent, going back to your early years again, how much or how important were Kyle and Chris in your development process?
Oh, man, that was huge, especially Chris. I look at me and Cal, we were kind of in the same position. I was my rookie season in the league, and he was his rookie year as a coordinator. So, I feel like we kind of came in together. We kind of grew a lot together. Obviously, he probably grew a lot faster than I did, but I always looked at Cal as that boy genius. And I think Chris was that kind of calming force to me because Mike was always on me about being better, and I think Chris was that liaison between us two to kind of deliver the message in a way that my immature mind could understand it and to motivate me to want to be a better professional, not just a better player. And I think he did that. And I probably wouldn't be here without if I came in a different situation. I don't know if I'd be the person or player I am today. So, I'm extremely thankful for, not just Coach Foerster, not just Kyle Shanahan, but his father and all the other coaches that's still around that you see on this staff today, that they all played a part in the maturation of me.
Last one.
Hey, Trent, Richard Sherman, who's his own agent, recently made it sound like it was pretty much a done deal that you're going to be back with the 49ers, around $20 million a year. Anyway, do you have reason to believe, that's going to happen? Have kind of preliminary conversations happened either between you and them or your agent?
It's a difficult question to answer. Obviously, we hadn't had any conversations, talking any numbers or anything, but, the interest is on both sides. And, like I said before, it's going to be something we have to work out around March, 21. And I don't have the answers right now, but I do know that there's interest on both sides, of course. And, like I said, I would love to be here. And if the business works out the same, you'll see me, for years to come, and that's what I hope happens.
Hey, faithful, click here to subscribe.